everybody. Hey, Adam, you're looking extra snazzy today.
Well, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, this is my fancy hat. I was going to say I've got my fancy pants on. That's a lie. I've just got a pair of shorts on. A fancy hat on.
Nobody needs to see that.
Nobody needs to do that ever.
Loving the bling. Fits really well with what we're talking about today. So, I mean, one of the things that I thought when I started was that I could give up my day job and stay home in my jammies and write all day. Is that what you do?
Oh, totally. I mean, I don't wear jammies, but we're meant to go there. But yes,
Too much information.
What is going on today? Wow. We do. I think there's two different views. One is that you can write a book and you get this, the royalties will come pouring in and you're at home or you're in a villa in Tuscany just writing or something. And the other one, which you hear quite a lot as well, is, you can't make money out of children's books, especially in Australia. You can't make money. So you get sort of those two contrasting views when you're starting out.
So what do you do to make money?
I steal stuff, mainly. Yeah.
It feels like that this has been a taboo topic a little bit, like it's something that they don't talk about when you go to writers' festivals and stuff. It's like, well, don't ask me. Don't ask me how much money I make.
Exactly. I agree. And I think it shouldn't be, because I think it is, again, a mindset thing of we can have that struggling artist or that, you're not going to have money mindset, or you can go, the thing about writing is it's not necessarily easy to make money, but there's no ceiling on it. Like you could make $1,000 a year. J.K. Rowling makes $1 billion a year, whatever she makes. Like there's literally no ceiling on it. And people will go, oh yeah, but that's J.K. Rowling. She was in poverty. She wasn't J.K. Rowling before she was J.K. Rowling. So yeah, there's no ceiling. And I think it's really important that we go, doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it is certainly possible to make a decent income. And if you're prepared to put yourself out there and put in the work, not just with the writing, but in other ways as well, then yeah, you can definitely make an income.
Yeah. So my major source of income isn't actually from royalties. And I would probably say that was one of the least amount of the money that I get in. My big money comes from doing school visits and then mentoring and editing. So helping other authors. What would you say would be your main stream of income?
But it's varied over the years. For a long time, when I was self-published and working with smaller publishers, it definitely wasn't royalties then. I think up to a couple of years ago, I'd had about $324 in royalties in 15 years or something ridiculous. But yeah, so school visits definitely, because I started doing my school visits for free when I first started out, just to get out there and practice and get seen, but was selling my books. So getting the booking fee for going to the school visits, but then also selling books to the kids as well is for a long time was my main income, and still is quite a solid source of income as well, except for last year when I couldn't go to schools.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody just crashed and burned last year.
Changed everything, yeah, and it opened up new things in terms of the virtual visits and all of that, but that also reduced the potential to do sales as much as well. So it was a really different sort of perspective on it, but I think it opens up the chance to do overseas visits, because now we can go to a virtual visit to New York.
Exactly.
Yeah, yes. So definitely school visits. I would also go to markets and sell my books, either books that I had self-published or ones I'd bought off the publisher at a discount. And that initially was marketing in a way of getting seen. And I would meet a lot of teachers at markets and get school visits out of that.
I still do markets. I love markets. I do at least one market a month for exactly that reason. It's not necessarily the sales, it's the teachers, it's
librarians.
Yes, or it's the mothers of librarians. Mothers of librarians are amazing. Like, seriously, they'll go, my daughter's a librarian, and so proud. Like, and just go, oh, give me your card. I need to give your card to my daughter. She's a librarian. Like, she's librarian. Oh my God. And it's just like, wow. Like treating them like royalty that they are.
Absolutely. And parents get so proud if their kids are doing a teaching degree as well. Oh, my son or daughter is studying to be a teacher, and they'll buy the books to give to their kids to take to their teaching rounds and things like that. Yeah, it's amazing. And you get grandparents, you get principals. Sometimes I've met a few publishers at markets where nothing ended up coming out of it, but there's just that chance to meet all those people. And And I did them for probably about 10 years really solidly. And for a couple of years, I was doing a lot. Like I got up to about 80 markets a year at one stage.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it became a really good source of income. But also, yeah, the school visits that came out of it were amazing. And I haven't actually done any for about a year just to get my weekends back. But I'm tempted to get back into it again in the next year. Even just doing, yeah, like say one a month, or doing the 4 months up till Christmas or something like that.
Yeah. I think it's fun. You get your Kanye on. I love it.
Yes,
Kanye on. Roll up. Is there any sort of out of the box way that you have earned money? I mean, I'm not talking street corner out of the box way. I like related to books.
Well, certainly one that some people don't know about, and I mean a lot of people watching this may know, but lending rights. So the educational lending rights or the public lending rights, which if people don't know, it's where when libraries have your book, if there's a survey and if there's a certain number of your books in the libraries, you get $1 or a couple of dollars a book. That can actually, and I know a few authors who say that's more than their royalties.
Yeah, it is. For me, that's more than my royalties, yeah.
Yeah, so that's been a really good one. And you have to register the books yourself, but you do that and it costs nothing to do it, and it can be it's as long as they're in there, as long as they're picked up in the survey, you get that. So that's been a really nice, surprising one that I didn't know about when I started.
Yes, you just reminded me that I've got a couple of books that I actually need to list that I haven't listed. Oh my God, I got to write that down. Okay. Peeler. Sorry, just taking notes from Adam here.
This is live.
Yes. And so that's really, really important. Is there anything about I guess the making the money as an author thing that you really don't like?
Look, I don't. It's interesting. I've been trying to get my head around this more and watching a lot of things on it. I don't like being salesy.
Yeah,
so even at a market or at a school, what I do at a school is I leave an order form for the kids at the end of the session, which I'll then go pick up a few days later. And even just talking about that, I can hear myself just rushing through it because I don't want to push it on them. I don't want to be salesy and I don't want to be doing this. But I've read a few things going, if you're really proud of your product and you think the kids would love it, if you think the clients would love it, so the kids love it, it's actually doing a disservice not to really let them know. And you've been doing that in our presentation. We've been talking about our books and writing and how much we love our writing and everything. This is just a flow from that. But I still find it tricky.
It's a catch-22, isn't it? Because I mean, I stopped working at the bank because I hated the sales part of it. I didn't want to be selling to people who didn't want to be sold to. But then I quickly realized that I have products. I make product. I have to sell that product, But then finding that balance between getting your books out there to the people who you think will love it and then not feeling like you're, and I think there's good ways to do it and bad ways to do it too as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think certainly in schools a little bit, but certainly at markets, you do find the good way and you find what works and what doesn't work and the things that make people go, oh, no, sorry, and you can feel them get that defensiveness up. And there are certain ways that just sort of lead them in. Again, and almost a bit like we've talked previously about talking to publishers, it's almost when you chat to people at a market, that chatting just not even about the books at the start, often, and just having a chat to them, that often leads to more sales than if you're like, here's my book, have a read.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to work as well.
Yeah, I know, exactly. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is as soon as you sign your first book contract or decide to self-publish, you get an ABN. Well, in Australia, you get an ABN and you all of a sudden are a small business owner.
Small business owner, exactly. And certainly when you self-publish, you're a small business owner that has to sell the books or you don't have a small business income.
And it's about sustainability. It's an expensive bloody hobby if you're not making any money.
It certainly is. And it's really good, I find, in terms of the income, if you can build up these different avenues as well. So if it's schools and it's markets and it's ELR, PLR, and you might get an advance from a publisher if you get picked up in some royalties, and you might do some flat fee writing or writing for magazines. If you can have all these different things, it adds up. It also means if free markets get rained out, but you've got 5 schools, then it's still, it covers it. So if one's a bit down, so if you just rely everything on writing a book and getting the royalties and being in your pajamas, if that doesn't happen, or if it happens and then it stops, you've got nothing else to fall back on.
That's right. I think last year taught us that, didn't it? Diversify or die.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome.
Cool. I'm gonna diversify. I don't want to die.
I know. Literal death. Literal.
Okay. Well, hang on. Literally die.
A literary death? Could be that too. Could be that too. Hey, next book's coming out. We'll have to see.
If we literally die.
One way or the other.
One way or the other.
Awesome. So cool to chat to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
See you next week.
See ya if we're here.
Bye.
Bye.